Students, here is the revision notes of locomotion and movement chapter of first PC biology. This revision notes is for the coming annual exam as well as entrance exams such as kcet and NEET. So one of the important topic here is types of movements in the cells: amoeboid, ciliary and muscular. These are the three types of movements you can find. Here are the places where you can find these type of movements. Next, you remember for exam, muscular proteins are actin and myosin, and they are also called as contractile protein present in myofibril. And myoglobin is a red colored oxygen storing pigment in the muscle. In the muscle, oxygen storing red color pigment is called as myoglobin. And protein present in actin filament are F actin, tropomyosin and troponin. And remember, sarcomere is a functional unit of contraction, and this is the diagrammatic representation of sarcomere. And remember the functional properties of muscle tissue: excitability, contractility, extensibility and elasticity. Then remember the definition of sarcoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum of muscle fiber is called as sarcoplasmic reticulum, and it stores calcium ion, which is very important for contraction of the muscle. So here is the diagrammatic representation of actin and myosin. Both are very important. So here MM means meromyosin, heavy meromyosin and light meromyosin. Then remember, light band, I band or isotrophic band contains only actin, and H zone in the sarcomere is a central part of the thick filament that does not have any overlapping of actin filament. Here is the diagrammatic representation of sarcomere. You can find here Z line, H zone, A band, and this is I band. So there H zone is a central part of thick filament where actin filaments are not overlapped, and F actin is a polymer made up of G protein, and myosin has actin binding site and ATP binding site. You can see in the diagram of myosin at the head region you can find actin binding site and ATP binding site. Then remember, in human skeletal system there are 206 bones, and in the human cranium 8 bones. In the human ribs, bones are 12 pairs. Among 12 pairs there are 3 types of rib: true ribs, false rib and floating ribs. So first 7 pairs are true ribs, 8, 9 and 10th pairs of false ribs, and last pairs of rib 11th and 12th are considered as floating ribs. So these are the 12 pairs of ribs. And in hind limb of human there are 30 bones. Then the bones of forelimb or hand are humerus, radius, ulna, carpal, metacarpal and phalanges. Let us move. Then very important part of the exam here is joints definition and its types. Joint is a point of contact between the bones. There are 3 types of joint: fibrous, cartilaginous, synovial. Fibrous joint do not allow any movement that is present in the bones of the cranium. Cartilaginous joints permit or allow limited movement. For example, joints of vertebral column, pelvic girdle. Synovial joints allow considerable movement. Example, knee joint. So that is very, very important. Now come to types of synovial joints. So there are total 5 types of synovial joint. First one is ball and socket joint present between humerus and pectoral girdle. Hinge joint in a knee joint. Pivot joint you can find between atlas and axis. Gliding joint between carpals, and saddle joint between carpals and metacarpals. Very important. Then remember the definition of glenoid cavity. It is the depression below acromion in which head of humerus moves. And remember the ear ossicle. In the middle ear there are 3 tiny bones: malleus, incus and stapes. They are called as ear ossicle. And remember, femur is the longest bone in the human body. And for 5 marks, remember, or for 1 mark, they are going to ask the disorders of skeletal system. For example, myasthenia gravis is the autoimmune disorder. Muscular dystrophy is a degeneration of skeletal muscle. Tetany is a rapid spasm of muscle due to low calcium ion. Arthritis is the inflammation of joint. Osteoporosis is the decreased bone mass due to low level of estrogen. Gout is the inflammation of joint due to the deposition of accumulation of uric acid. Then last, remember the definition of tendon and ligament. Tendon is helps to connect muscle and bone, and ligament helps to connect bone and bone. So these are the important topics of this locomotion and movement chapter. I hope this is going to be very helpful for you. Thank you.